It's currently 10:52 p.m. Roughly from, if I recall the time, I had breakfast, which consisted of essentially 2 regular peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, since we currently are out of bagels, to somewhere between 7 and 8 p.m. I worked on first tracing out the hoodie outline during the early to mid-afternoon hours, and then I first outlined and then colored in the goggles. Ultimately, I'm currently thinking about whether to make the ski mask a light hue of gray, or a medium hue of green. Or possibly a light hue of green. But for that, because I picked light green for the hoodie outline, I would have to do a little more outlining. For that option, potentially, I toasted the pieces of bread I used for those 12:15 p.m. peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. With them, I had my first cup of coffee from the morning pot Dad made. It was around 5 p.m. that I had some of the meatloaf he made yesterday. After microwaving it for 2 minutes, and putting additional ketchup on it. I had a glass of milk with that. And I recall having a glass of water sometime between the sandwiches and the meatloaf. I recall having 2 to 3 cups of coffee. Plain coffee roughly from 12:15 p.m. to about 3 p.m. I recall around 6 p.m. some minor parts of this sort of office swivel chair I'm currently sitting on came off. They were minor parts that Dad was able to put back on. Within a minute or two, upon coming up after I alerted him of this. And now the chair I sit on while working on polystyrene drawing projects while also switching between some games on Congregate, seeking badges, now feels extra sturdy, but I can still move it just fine. Off of the wheels. At times it felt a bit difficult outlining and freehanding the goggles, but I managed it just fine. And did what I feel is a pretty good job on them. Dad made a pepperoni and onion bobole pizza. I believe he prepared it around 8 p.m. Then kept it in the refrigerator until he cooked it around 10:30 p.m. I had 2 slices in total. Dad saved the last slice for me, but I decided to have that slice for later. And he also gave this drumstick to me, which was the last one we had. At the time. So that was nice of him. Throughout today's work on the polystyrene drawing project, I used most of these Sharpie markers, except for this one because I'm considering that one for the ski mask, along with this one. Only if I pick that one, I'm going to use the fine tip version of that. I also spent some time on this game today, mostly moving buildings around in an effort so that some buildings would get the inputs they needed in order to produce their output, and unlocking a few technologies. First this one by accident, then this one intentionally, and then same for this one. And here's where I am currently on Elvenar. I completed some task sets, primarily during the mid to late afternoon hours, from what I recall. I keep forgetting to do this mini game.